Well, it was a big week in the music
Sure
world.
was, and it wasn't just the Grammys going on. Our friend Jim Bozzi is here to talk more about it. And if you like it, Jim, you better put a ring on it.
Oh, I heard you before.
I know you did.
I
Yes.
mean,
Oh, I heard you. I'm over here like
he
this.
needs help, Jim. He needs help.
I need some help. I need
right.
some help. I need to talk about you too.
You know about you too. At least you've
I
heard of
know
them.
you too.
One of my, yeah, U2's doing a really cool thing. It started last night, actually, the virtual tour, they're calling it. What's funny, it's to me, it's they're putting it on their YouTube channel. The U2 has a YouTube channel, but it's their four most memorable concerts. One in Slane Castle in Ireland back in 2001, Red Rocks out in Colorado in 83, Paris in 2015, and Mexico City in 97. They're putting these all on the YouTube for the next 4 weeks. What's great about these is they're going to be virtually live for 48 hours after the broadcast. So it's in their opinion, now listen, these guys have done thousands of concerts around the world. They're one of the biggest acts on the globe. But they've taken their four best performances and put them on their channel, and we can see them week after week after week. So it's going to be the 17th, the 25th, the 1st, and the 10th of April that you'll be able to see these great U2 concerts.
And they're bringing people with them, right, Jim?
You bring in like Dermot Kennedy. Dermot Kennedy actually performed at the Toyota Oakdale Dome exactly a year ago last week. Dermot Kennedy sold out the Dome at Toyota Oakdale Theater before we obviously closed down for a while.
Unbelievable.
So so it's kind of cool. They're bringing some special guests, but if you go to their YouTube channel, you'll see all of that stuff and all of these great performances. Listen, I remember we had U2 at the New Haven Coliseum way back, and Bono, I have a picture of it actually. Has a cast on because he broke his arm in Japan earlier in the tour, and he did the whole tour with a sling on his arm, but he performed just as well as he always has. He's one of the best front men in the business. He really is.
Yeah, he's an incredible performer.
Yeah, people have, and they said, of course, the Super Bowl performance from U2 that went down as like one of the best in history when they did the vote. So there's also, for a little more modern, Drake is really hot right now.
Drake is really hot.
This guy just keeps getting hotter and hotter. I mean, it's been just an amazing year for him, but nobody in history has ever had 3 songs debut at number 1, at number 2, at number 3. And Drake has now done it with What's Next, Wants and Needs, and Lemon Pepper Freestyle, which is now holding the 1, 2, 3 slot. Now, Ariana Grande, back in 2019, she had the top 3 songs, but they didn't debut at 1, 2, and 3. That's a pretty remarkable feat. But do you know the act who first did that, Scott Haney?
The Beatles?
Yeah. Look at him. Look at him with that red tie.
Thank you.
Yes. The Beatles did it in 64 when you were 10. And they did it with I Want to Hold Your Hand, She Loves You, and Can't Buy Me Love. So, but it's a pretty remarkable feat for Drake to come into the top 3 with these brand new songs from his new album, Scary Stories 2.
He's so talented. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, and just amazing also just how music has changed that,
yes.
The minute you put something out, everyone can stream it and you get the top 3.
Right, exactly.
There's something going on here. Eddie Van Halen's son is really upset with how the Grammys honored his dad or didn't honor his dad enough, he says.
Well, if you watch the Grammys, as I did, obviously it's like homework for me, right? So we saw the in memoriam, what they do every year with artists that we passed. And they picked a few performers to honor those who have passed. I mean, Lionel Richie did a great tribute to Kenny Rogers, and Bruno Mars did one for Little Richard, and Brandi Carlile did one for John Prine. I guess Wolfgang was asked to perform and do Eruption, which is the classic Eddie Van Halen riff, which nobody else on this planet, I think, can do. They showed his guitar, which was very cool. But it was a 15-second clip that many in the rock world, which you got to remember, rock to the Grammys is sort of like, it's not what it used to be. I mean, most of the biggest stars of today are pop and hip hop, right? There's not a lot of rock bands out there besides the Foo Fighters, let's say, So a lot of rock fans and Wolfgang himself thought that the tribute to Eddie Van Halen should have been maybe a little longer, but he was asked, he declined. So I'm sort of like, well, why did you decline? That would have been such a wonderful
Yeah.
tribute for Van Halen fans, which are many, 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 and also your dad, who
Yeah.
died so young, was such an incredible guitar player. I mean,
guess-
like he's up there with Hendrix.
He said he declined because he thought
He
there's
didn't
no
think he
one
could
could
live
do
up
it
to it,
justice
right,
like his
yeah.
dad, but maybe he didn't realize that meant if he declined, there was only going to be 15 seconds on him.
Right. And when you're a performer, listen, Lionel Richie did the whole song of Lady, which he wrote for Kenny Rogers, 30 years ago. So, yeah, I don't know. If you're asked by the Grammys to do something, I don't know. I would have done it for my dad. I mean, absolutely, I would have done it. I understand his thinking that I'll never do it as good as my father.
Right.
But sometimes you have to just say, don't think of me. Let's think of
Yeah.
my parent, my dad, in this
Exactly.
case, and such a legend, such a legend.
All right, where are you, Jim? In your basement? What's happening?
There's neon
It's
lights.
a little better studio I've set up here, Kara. It's got like with a brick wall behind me. It's kind of like I was looking at it a few weeks ago, and I was like, this would be kind of cool. My friend Brian Ertl out in LA made the little neon sign.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll get back to you. Don't call us. We'll call you. Thank you. Bye, Jim.
Take care, guys.
We're finding things to be grateful for in the pandemic. Being happy could be healthy for you.
Yeah, happy is the new healthy. So we're going to talk about that in a new book. And do you have a room in your heart and home for a new pet?
Yes.
We're going to take you to a great place to maybe get a little cuddly kitty.
But first, let's get a check on today's news and wet weather from Studio A.